in it. It's late in LA, and this is the fight. Now, a lot of things happen. I have a desk. I'm talking to America. Hello, America. Hello, people seeing me at a desk. We're talking about the fight. UFC 300. Possibly one of the best cards I've ever seen in my life. Possibly one of the best things that's ever happened in combat sports. This reminds me of the Kumite in the Bruce Lee movies. You know, every round, every level, it got more dangerous. It got more problematic. And we start the prelim with two champions going at it with long careers and long records of hurting other people. Now, tap into the fight. Now, they had 300K bonuses. This was an incentivized violence, people. It's big bag time, big fight time. The prelims were main events, okay? Main events. This could have been several cards, several different Saturdays, and they've been feeding this every Saturday. Shout out to UFC, shout out Dana White, shout out to fighters, most importantly. This is Life and Times Network, the fight. Now, we start off the prelim card with Figueroa getting a sub on Cody, no love. Round 2, we're naked. Listen, he pieced him up. He hurt him early. And after that, he got him down. And these guys aren't just good in one round. These aren't like new fighters. These guys are champion level fighters. So they're good everywhere. They're good on the feet. They're good on the ground. They're good outside, inside, far as range. These guys had it all, and they showed it all in this fight. And listen, they're both coming off win streaks. I still think Cody can come back. Shout out Figueroa. He's looking good at this weight class. It's time for him to stop depleting himself, and he's been looking great since then. Now, we follow that up with Bobby Green, with Mike Miller has been in UFC 100, 200, and now 300. He's a longevity fighter with almost 50 fights, and this Bobby Green fight was an absolute war. Okay, 3 rounds of violence, 3 rounds of blood. I think the ref could have stopped this. I think he could have stopped this a lot of times during that whole thing. They let him go out on his shield. They let him be entertaining like he has been his entire career. Shout out Mike Miller. Shout out Bobby Green. And he's looking like he wants to fight Paddy Pimblett next. I don't mind that fight. It's a fun fight. It's a stand-up fight until somebody goes to shoot. Now, Jessica Andrade, right? She just won a razor-thin split decision against Moran. And it was a 3-round banger. Listen, that girl, Moran, has that woman, I don't want any problems. Now, that woman, Moran, she has very good hands. She pieced up Jessica Andrade from a distance, but once she got in there, Jessica took that risk. And I think that's what really, turned the tides for her. And we're going to be talking about Turner soon. But Jessica Andrade really mixed it up. And I see, with MMA, you can't just have striking. You have to be fully developed. And anytime he came into a ground game situation, wrestling situation, where there was some dirty boxing, when they were in that range, it was terrible for her competitor. You know, it just didn't look really good. And listen, she has plenty of time to get back in there, get in the lab, and work on what she's not good at. But Jessica Andrade got the win. And this is the 3rd fight in an epic prelims. Okay, the prelims were a problem. Now, Jalen Turner, he dropped his opponent, Renato, and he tried to walk away. The ref was like, we still got some fight time. We still have some boxing, some wrestling, some UFC, some MMA to do. And that's what really turned on his head when it got to the 2nd round and he got down and he didn't get back up. His opponent fought through everything. He fought through getting hurt. He fought through I feel like it was a little bit disrespectful to try to do the walk-off KO. He had more fight in him, and he stopped him the next round. Now, Diego Lopez gets a vicious 1st-round KO, okay? And he wants that money, man. This guy's game, the featherweight division, is on fire, and the next fight after that is Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. This is her debut. I don't know what happened. I don't know. And Holly has came out after the fight saying she didn't know what happened either, far as the game plan, far as I didn't think she'll fight that fight, and I think because she fought that fight, she lost, right? She got stopped in round 2 by Kayla Harrison, Olympic gold medalist, high pedigree, very strong person who just outworked her and beat her on the ground and on the feet at times. Now, talking about the ground, Aljo, Aljo had Calvin Kattar on the ground the entire time for the 3 rounds. He even got a Batista bomb in. I don't know if that was a regular throw in wrestling, but it looked like a Batista bomb from WWE. He just controlled him the entire fight. The higher level wrestling was a complete nullifier. He went through 2 rounds, and Calvin Kattar only had, I'm pretty sure he's 2 for 37 out of 2 rounds, and it's a 3-round fight. You're not going to beat a guy, especially if your forte is striking, and you're only landed 2. He completely nullified him. Aljo's looking great in the new division. I can't wait to see him next. Okay? Now, we have Jiri. Okay? They said Jiri wasn't a samurai. That was some samurai jack shit out there. Okay? He was getting kicked in the leg, and he didn't give a fuck. He just kept going forward. He had a mindset to just do damage, to do harm to his fellow man. And he got the stoppage in round 2. It was epic. It literally looked like he marched across the field. He didn't give a fuck what was going on. And took every shot and gave it back harder. It really was like an outdog, man. He just outdogged his opponent. And Jerry's still up there as far as the top tier light heavyweight division. We'll get to that during the main card. Now, speaking about the main card, Bo Nickal passes the test, okay? It was a very gutsy fight for as long as it lasts. This is the most trouble he's ever had. I'm pretty sure this is the first time he's gotten to the 2nd round. And this is the fight game, right? We all know his ground game is impeccable. His hands are getting better every time. And he got that sub in the 2nd round. He was a little hard on himself. I don't really agree with that. I know there's plenty of things to grow and learn from, even in a win, and even in going longer than you usually do. Bo, congratulations. PSU forever. The fight. Tap in. Listen, Charles Oliveira and Arman, it was so back and forth. Okay, these guys need 5 rounds because in the first round, Charles has a serious sub in, right? Serious sub. Now, 2nd round is obviously Arman's, right? Obviously. I don't think it's anybody in the world that's going to give Charles that round. If you do, you got problems. And it looked very similar in the 3rd match, right? In the 3rd round. But Charles Oliveira, had Arman in a serious sub. Like, I don't know if we got to add, like you got to get out of this position. Because if you're in a bad position and the guy has you in a bad position, he's actually threatening something now in the fight. Because the ground and pound was working, and it most effectively for Arman, it was working in the 2nd round. The 3rd round, it wasn't a lot of damage being done from that ground and pound when he was on top. And Charles threatened the fight-ending motion with subs. So what are we scoring subs with? If it was just a damage thing, and Arman, he won hands down because he just did more damage. Now, Arman did take the win over Charles. It's very close, razor-thin win, and I believe he'll be up next after Dustin Poirier if he doesn't get past Islam. Now, we got into probably one of the best fights I've ever seen in my life. Max Holloway versus Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Listen, this is a land of first, okay? Max Holloway is the first man to I feel like he wasn't even outgunning because the power, we can't say Max doesn't have power, right? But I don't think his power is at the level of Gaethje. But his boxing is. He outboxed him. He was piecing him up. He could have easily cruised through this fight and risked nothing in the 5th round because I felt like he was 4 up, even though he got dropped for the first time in his career in the 4th round. So he can easily win that fight 3-2 if he let go of the gas in round 5 after being dropped round 4. But he didn't. He pushed the fucking pace. He pointed right here. Okay, he said right here, last 10 seconds, the 5th round, and counter hook, drops Gaethje, flatline, $600K bonus. Give that man every single dollar, coin, chicken, tuna, lettuce, potato, anything that offers money, he deserves it, okay? This guy, Max, okay, he got something different in him, man. He got a different drive. As soon as he got the belt, he gave it to his wife. He's just an honorable man. Shout out to new BMF. Shout out Max Holloway. That was the greatest fight I've ever seen. Greatest knockout I've ever seen. Gritty fight. I don't know how he's walking around. He's the only person who's fought Gaethje and is walking around after. Shout out Max, brother. Now, we go into the title contention fight with Zhang Weili and Yan. Listen, that first round, she was choked out. She was asleep. And they let her get up and continue that fight. I don't know what was going on with the reffing. They should have stopped that fight. She was asleep. She woke up and fell down one knee, and then they put it in the corner. I don't know how that goes down. Now, Yan dropped Weili a couple of times in this fight. She has very, very deadly hard hands, and she has the will of a champion. I'm not saying she shouldn't have been out there because she isn't good. I'm saying she shouldn't have been out there because she was asleep. It's very different. Weili still took it to the ground and got through a gritty 5-round war with Yan, and that weight class is on fire. There's so many things that can happen soon, and Weili is a dominant champ who got it any way she could. And that's what you got to do when you're a champion. You find a way to win. Now, the main event, Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill has been talking big game. I knew he's going to come out there and try to strike with Alex Pereira, and I knew it was going to be a problem. And I knew if he did that, he was going to lose, and he did. Round 1. By that devastating left hook. Alex Pereira says he wants to go to heavyweight now. He didn't take any damage. Shout out Alex Pereira with the meme celebration. And Jamal Hill is still a top contender. He got in there. You're supposed to wait 12 months after an ACL tear. He got back in there in 9 months. He took the risk. He took the loss on the chin. He didn't make no excuses afterwards. Shout out to him. And he still can get it at light heavyweight. That's the thing with Alex Pereira. I want him to defend the belt, right? He got the belt at middleweight, then lost to Izzy. Lost to Izzy, go up to light heavyweight, gets the belt, right? But he hasn't fought and kept the belt. Like, we need some title defenses. I'm sorry. This is the Life and Times Network, and this is the fight. Shout out to everyone who was on this card. Shout out to anybody that bled in that arena. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to Dana White. Hey, shout out to me. Shout out to all the alcohol I drank. Shout out to the people that were asleep. My girl was a little asleep. She was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "A lot." She was tired. We had a busy day. Shout out to my boy Deontay. He's 7-1. We just saw his fight over there at the Golden Gloves competition. It was a fantastic weekend. Probably the best card I've ever seen. Everybody have a great night, and thank you for tapping in. Life and Times The Fight.
Is this not why you are here? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?